Good evening, SBC. Good evening, SBCC. And good evening to all points in between. Welcome to the August 10th edition of SBC Tuesday Talk. I'm your host, Mike Walker. And tonight we got a special night, special treat, maybe a special experiment. We just see how it goes. As this will be a retro episode, so to speak, an episode from last year. This was originally broadcast, well, I almost forgot, on June 16th, 2020, 2020 rather. And that's when we was pretty much starting this and getting our groove in this Tuesday night talk. And a lot of things are different, and you'll see how far we've come. But despite the visuals and the aesthetics, the conversations were still good then as they are now. So hopefully you'll sit back and relax and just watch this show. And also you can still live comment though, you know, but just watch the show. Now remember, this show is from June 16th, 2020. So sit back, enjoy, and on with the show.
There we go.
Are you we on? Anybody looking at the group? We on?
Yeah.
We love baby.
Oh, we are live, and in super duper deluxe, living color. And good evening to SBC. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Glad to have you for this June 16th edition of our SBC Talk Tuesday. Tuesday Talk. And we have our panel here, and everybody say hello to the group.
Hello.
Yeah, yes. Now if they answer back, then what? Okay. Okay, we're not gonna hold everybody long. We're gonna jump right into this, okay? We can go in with the first question. Okay, here we go. If you believe premarital counseling should be mandatory and your partner thinks counseling is not necessary, should you proceed with the wedding?
I think it depends on whether or not they're willing to even do it. You can find that it's not necessary, but if you know that I feel it's necessary and you're unwilling to do it, then that means what I feel doesn't matter much to you. And in that case, no.
Okay. Anyone else?
I actually this was the deal breaker.
Okay.
In my last relationship, we were dating and we were having communication issues. And I said, we need to go counseling or moderator or something, because I'm not being heard and you're not being heard. And I think counseling, for the sake of basically having a better relationship, because sometimes in counseling can help other relationships that you may have. It can spill over. You can have collateral healing in other parts of your relationships. And when someone says, I don't want to go, I think that's a red flag for me. It is. So I would say, yeah, red flag.
Yeah, I would agree. It's a red flag, and it appears as though there was some problems prior to that. Like, if you're not equally yoked with your partner and he completely disagreeing on something like marital counseling, then that ain't the first disagreement. And they're probably disagreeing because they done had other disagreements. So, sometimes, like, if you're going to the same religion or the same church or the same, you equally yoked and you something that you both agree on, you know what I mean? That's almost like a discussion about what is it called, about the finances? a prenuptial agreement.
Yeah, a
It's
prenup.
almost the same thing to me.
Okay.
You know, same
Yeah.
background, same thought
Yeah.
process. You know.
I can understand that. I believe in premarital counseling. I truly believe in that. I mean, that gives you a chance to see what's really going on. You know, the worst time to find out about that person is after you both jump the broom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's definitely the wrong time. However, I have to present this caveat though. There are some pastors, and not to make this a gender thing, but some pastors for some reason are very protective of their female parishioners, single female parishioners. And sometimes they do it to give the suitor a hard time, you know, trying to put him through what is it? A tougher grilling. So yeah, exactly. Because I know I've heard stories, at least in my area, about certain pastors would grill the male fiance with tough questions. They would almost seem impossible or almost seem incriminating.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a good part to premarital counseling, which I do support. But, you know, some people can't abuse that, though. Yeah, anyone else?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a red flag if she's not interested in that altogether. Because one, like, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of a non-starter because, like, I'm complicated. Like, I'm like, and I'm gonna work on her nerve at some point. Like, I just, that's just what two people do. And she's gonna work on my nerve as well. And so, to me, it's a little telling. Like, to me, it speaks to someone's ability to cope with difficult situations. Like, if off rip you're just like, well, no, we're not gonna, no, there's just will be no counseling. Now I'm worried about what happens down the line if it gets to a situation where, we're both disagreeing about something, we're not hearing each other. And what's gonna happen then? Are we gonna break up? Are we gonna, sit in the house and look stupid? Like, to me, that's very important. That's very important. Just about like how a person's going to deal with very difficult situations. Are they going to always want to just kind of clam up or something? I don't know. That's where my mind goes.
Yeah, okay, Keena.
You muted, Keena.
I hear you.
Wait. I got it.
I have a follow-up. Why should it always be a pastor to do the counseling?
I don't think it has.
A lot of times we go to the pastor and they're trained in some spiritual counseling, but sometimes we may need to go to a licensed marriage family therapist.
That's right.
To deal with the tools to effectively communicate.
I agree.
And also, so the male and the female does not feel like they're being bullied in any other way. So they can feel like they can go to that person on their own to talk about certain issues without feeling like that their communication is going to be passed around in the church, which a lot of times is the case. Because, the pastor may tell his wife, the wife may tell sister so-and-so, brother doorknob, and then everybody else in the church know your business.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. And then also, how shady and petty some pastors are. In their own special way, they'll throw at you in the pulpit. Some of y'all don't like to squeeze the toothpaste from the bottom. I'm like, okay, how did you know? Did you really have to go there?
I think that like what Keena said, going to an outside family therapist, I would kind of I think it would be better like if I was to go to another Christian not pastoral. Sometimes you have just elders in the group, in the church, or you have marriage, specifically marriage counselors in another church, because I think it might bring up stuff that's like important that a regular therapist wouldn't discuss. Like, say for example, in my family, I was raised that we don't support cremation, and you don't talk about different stuff like that until you get into that, Christian family counseling situation. You know what I mean?
Kirsten?
A girlfriend of mine I was with over the weekend, we had a similar discussion about counseling or conversations in general between pastors and allowing their family members to be around them when they're having discussions about people. And you can always notice that they've had a discussion with that family member around, because that family member treats you differently when they show up at the church house. They got an attitude towards you, or they're not speaking to you at all, and you haven't done anything, and you haven't done anything to that person, but because the pastors have had a conversation around them, they treat you differently. So you have to be careful with whom you're talking to. I think that it is better to talk to someone outside of the church as far as counseling is concerned, because at the end of the day, they're not going to tell you, they're not the ones that's going to tell your business to the congregation, because somehow, some way, it always seems to show up in the pulpit. Amen. Praise God.
and you need a neutral party,
right,
to officiate, to counsel. Definitely someone who has no stake in the situation,
right?
Because you can go to my pastor, he'll have a little bias toward me, or I could go to her pastor. Guess what? She's going to have a little bias towards her.
Right.
So, and then therein lies the problem right there.
Yeah.
While you busy uncovering my flaws and shortcomings, you pretty much overlooking hers.
Yeah.
You understand that? So
right.
Yeah, you need a neutral party, though. You really do. Someone that's unbiased and nothing to gain from it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But to be adamant against it all the way around is definitely.
What was that? Joe said.
To be adamant against the counseling all the way around is just.
No. Yeah. You definite. I think if they're against it, to me, that feels as though they have something to hide. And it may come out during the counseling session. Whoever doing the officiating may push the right button and drag out that dirty laundry. And that person may not want it to be revealed, not just yet.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so. Okay, next question. Thank y'all so much. And it is by own Kirsten. Okay. I may have to call the National Guard for this one. I don't know, but here we go. How do you feel about tattoos? Do you feel that there is something spiritually wrong with having one? Panel, you have the floor. Tia.
I have 5 tattoos. I love the Lord. The Lord loves me. How about it? And I've seen like a little meme that says tattoos or a temple that has stained glass windows. So I feel like one of my tattoos says I'm blessed on it. I don't feel like it's a spiritual deficit for me to have tattoos. Again, I go back to the Lord loves me. The Lord knows my heart. And I probably will get more tattoos too. So just saying.
Okay. Next, anyone else?
Next question.
No. We still on this question. Come on.
I don't know. I go to a church that a younger couple that they get tattoos. I just got a tattoo recently. I don't even know. I can't even count how many I have, and I've gotten them, since being a Christian and since being taking my Savior is Jesus Christ. I think that when we get ready to die and go to heaven, and you're on your process to heaven, you're given a new body. So that means whatever old and crippled body I may have, then that's not going. He's going to be a fresh and new body. So whatever is on the body that I have now is not going with me into heaven anyway. For me personally, I did it over a choice of I choose wisely on what it is I get as far as tattoos are done. Like I have a lot of different spiritual stuff. I have a lot of animals and a lot of different stuff like that. Anatomy of the body, different stuff like that. But I just I
Anatomy
don't
of
see
the
a
body.
problem with it. I have a heart, heart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
just don't think like if Jesus was to come back today, he's not coming back in flip flops and a dress. So, I just think and people that have that are obsessed with the new technology and got to have everything. So there's different sins, and the 7 deadly sins it doesn't have any. You get what I'm saying? I don't think it's any worse or any better than what other people do. Some people may be in the gluttony or food. I may be in the tattoos. It's definitely an addiction. For me, it's been an addiction. I mean, I'm not, this expensive, but, I just don't, I got all kind of piercings and different stuff like that too. For me, it was just a form of entertainment and a form of motivation. And, some things represent, my clean date and different recovery symbols and different stuff like that I'm in. I have a cross and different stuff like that. So I don't see anything wrong with it.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I kind of agree with everyone else. I don't really see
Thank you. Yes.
I don't really feel like there's a consistent biblical argument for why New Testament Christians shouldn't get tattoos. I just kind of feel like if you're gonna pick out certain things from the Old Testament, then you better not eat any shrimp, you better not blend any fabrics. I feel like that's kind of like the realm that you're in at that point. So I don't really see it because I don't have any, but I want some. I've been trying to get some ever since I turned 18, and it keeps not happening. Yeah, I don't really see I don't personally. I'm not a theologian or anything like that. I don't really see an argument against it.
Okay. Thank you, Con. Anyone else? Okay, we all good then. Okay, Keena, what was that?
Well, it's. I don't think it's anything wrong with the tattoo. I think people like to sugar pick what they want to put their thing on. I think it's silly, and I think you should know what your ink is and what it means. I don't think if you're not of Maori, you shouldn't be getting Maori tattoos. I think that's stupid.
Yeah.
If you're not of a certain tribe, you shouldn't be getting tribal tattoos. That doesn't make any sense to me. I think it should be meaningful. So if you're gonna, and I don't have tattoos because I don't deal with pain very well. So for me, that's not my thing. But we all have a thing. I don't think it's a sin. I think excess of anything. So if that's something that you like to do it. But I don't think anyone should be judged either way.
I agree.
I think being in the medical field, I do cover my tattoos whenever I'm in lab, whenever I'm in scrubs, I cover my tattoos up, and that's
good idea.
Dealing with patients. It could bring up a cultural difference that I don't want to have to encounter cultural differences when dealing with patients in the medical field. You know what I mean? So it's just my personal choice to cover them up.
Well, I had I worked with a nurse who had a full back what is it? What is Davy Jones' locker on her back? It was absolutely beautiful, as you could see it through her uniform.
Yeah, see, like I have an African ankh and a cross in different places, and for somebody that's atheist or agnostic, and they're my patient, it could give an uncomfortable feeling. That's why I say about cultural differences or whatever the case may be. So some people don't know what the African ankh is, and then that's an automatic So it's just my personal preference to cover them up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead, Liz. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I'll just tell anyone that whatever you do, you use wisdom and discernment when you get one. Because I know when I wanted to get one in my 20s, and my big brothers told me, no, don't do that. I'm so glad I followed their wisdom and discernment, because I would have regretted it at this point in my life. So I would say definitely, just wisdom and discernment. And sometimes that's not always available in your youth. So sometimes you have to think about it a little bit longer.
Because those paw prints were, very, very, popular when I was, and I would have really regretted that in my 20s.
Yeah. So
there's certain tattoos that are like the spider web on the elbow that has some different swastika signs that you might see. It tells a lot about that person. Either they didn't do their homework, or this is what they're supporting, which could create conflict outside.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
At the True Women's Conference, it's a religious conference, and she actually was the head of our volunteer group, and she had a tattoo like on her forehead. And she used that and it was part of her old life before she knew Jesus, and she used that as part of her testimony. So she was open. She had like she normally kind of wore her bangs where it covered, but she moved right, you could see it. And she was like, I'm more than happy to share my testimony with you. God released me from that, and she could have gotten it removed, but she chose to make it part of her testimony. And it was something that I really admired. I mean, we all have done stupid stuff in our lives, and it's part of our testimony.
One of the reasons that I still choose to get them is sort of an attraction rather than promotion type of thing. Because I have stuff all in my ear, but it attracts a certain kind of people to me, and then I'm able to testify or minister to them. And I've actually had some people change their lives and just to communicate with me in recovery, and so it's an attraction rather than promotion thing. They felt more comfortable talking to me, and then the next thing you know, I had this person at church or people at church that hadn't been to church in years. So I haven't experienced nothing bad with it.
Okay.
I understand that. I understand. But you know what? Let's segue. Let's kind of expand this question though. Okay. What about body piercings?
No.
And especially, we're going to get to you, Tia. Well, and especially piercing for men. Earrings. Tia, go ahead.
So, I have the ball bell here, got one up here. I had 5 right here to make it a star, but they popped out. I had my tongue pierced when I was young. I had my belly button pierced when I was young. Like, I still love Jesus. Like, and I did it because it was a young thing to do, and it was fun, and it broke the mold. I'm pretty plain most of the time. And like, those were the ways that I could just do something that would shock, out of my ordinary. And so I did it. Then when I was done, I took it out, and, nobody would know until I told them. Like, when I got my tongue pierced, I told my mom, and she didn't believe me. And so I drove up to her choir rehearsal and stuck my tongue out at her and drove off. Like it was just something I needed to do in order to like break my mode. And I did it for a period of time, and then I took it out, and I'm still the same. Still love Jesus.
You sure you weren't being rebellious?
Just breaking my mode. I'm something to shock my own periodically.
I get you. Kirsten, go ahead.
You know, I don't see anything wrong with the piercings and the tattoos, and I don't see God punishing us or doing, you know, I don't see it as a sin or anything. You know, the Bible speaks about he who has cast, you know, hasn't had, or what is it? I'm not saying it verbatim. Who hasn't had a sin, cast the first stone kind of thing. I mean, we just have to be so careful with judging people because of what they have on, or you know, the tattoos that they have, or the ear piercings that they have in their ears or on their body. We have to be so careful because God is not a man that he should lie, nor the son of man that he should repent. He is not going to judge us on what that portion of our body is like. He's not judging us on that. I don't believe that God judges us on that. So we have to be, because man will judge you so quickly and feel that they're going to heaven just as fast as anybody else is. And we got to be careful. Judge not lest ye be judged. That's Bible. So we got to be careful with that. We have to be careful. There are so many people that refuse to go to church today because of those types of judgments. You know what I mean? And so we just have to get into the mindset of understanding, you know, people as a whole. You know, draw the people. Let God draw them. Stop judging people because of what they look like. Because if we continually do that, God forbid that we make it to heaven because we get sent to hell because we've judged somebody because of what their appearance is. You know, look at the inward man and not the outward man. Okay, I'm done. I love y'all.
I think you mentioned something too about men.
Yes.
Now, I'm in California, so there is certain piercings out here that do identify homosexuality, and there are certain piercings that identify, you know, when you see people with those particular piercings or facial, it suggests that you are a part of that culture. For me personally, I mean, I have all kind of dermal tattoos. I had a teardrop. I didn't have tongue stuff. I didn't have from the rooter to the pierced and dermals and all kind of stuff. But I started gradually taking them out as I got more Christ-like. But there is some, you know, like for a man to have one earring, that's nothing out here is pretty common. But if you got two hoops and you got, you know, something, there's different stuff. There's, if you're on the left side, and there's different stuff out here for men and women if you are in that homosexual or bisexual culture.
Okay. With that said, and since we brought up punishment, let's go to this one right here. Do you feel like it's possible that you are single because God is possibly punishing you because of your past?
No.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I think no. I just don't.
My God is not punitive like that. Really?
Yeah.
That's an excellent question though, because I've heard that before. In particular, being single, no. I think that some I think that and I wouldn't call it as God punishing me. I think that God has lessons for me, and I need to learn different things before he blesses me with someone. And sometimes I keep hitting my head on the same lesson over where I'm not getting what God wants me to do. You know what I mean? Now I've done some traumatic, I've done stuff in my life. I mean, I have a very, you know, drug and alcohol past. You know what I mean? Have I robbed Burger King? Yeah. So am I single because I robbed Burger King? I hope not. You know what I'm saying? It just so, you know, I tried to I said the wrong thing. Let me be quiet.
Okay. Anyone else?
I think we tend to not accept, and I think I keep going back to Kirsten last week, the gift of singleness. We tend not to really appreciate the seasons and the seasons that we're in. We're going to either be in our springs, our fall, our summers, and our winters. And sometimes singleness is our falls. It's time for replenishment. It's time to restore ourselves. And we're not always going to be in spring. It's not always going to be summer. And I think sometimes we view it as a punishment, but sometimes we need a rest. And we've been going on the hamster wheel of life for so long, and maybe in the wrong direction. And sometimes we need a break. And I look at singleness as that break of restoring, of reflecting, and then going into spring, I'm renewed. So this whole punitive, I think, is very puritanical.
Yeah.
And we need to kind of stop being that, because it doesn't serve anybody any good to think that way. It's negative. And I don't serve a God that does that. And maybe you need to stop serving that type of God, because he ain't serving you either.
I don't know. I think it's really an interesting concept. Like, I don't think I have a finalized opinion of it yet, but like, as I think about it, I don't know if I use the term punitive, but I mean, we do serve a legal God, right? We serve a just God, and there are consequences for our actions. Yes, we can repent of a sin, but there are still consequences for our actions. Some people didn't get to go into the promised land because of their actions, and that was a promise that they were given. Like I said, I'm still kind of forming my full idea, but I think it's a really interesting concept, because I know, people say like, oh, what God has for me is for me. Yes, if you go get it. You know what I mean? Like, you still have your part to play in what's yours. So if I combine like the different ideas I have about different things, I really find it interesting, because I think we can do things that causes us to miss our blessing. I think we can do things that will keep us away from the promises that God has. And if that's the case, is it not possible that we could have done something in the past that has stopped us from being, from getting our mate, like something we've done? I'm not saying, because I see the faces, like I said, I'm still forming my idea, but we can do things that stop ourselves. And I think sometimes we don't want to realize that there's thorns to these roses, like we want to view God as, oh no, because that's what I want, that's my desire, he's going to give that to me. But once again, he is a just God. We serve a legal God. When Peter denied Christ 3 times, Jesus made him accept Christ 3 times to cancel it out. You know what I mean? There are things that matter, and we can do things that ruin it for ourselves, and we can't blame God for our own actions sometimes. So like I said, still forming my idea, but I think it's a very interesting thought process to have.
I will say,
Go ahead.
Oh, I will say, I think, and this may like kind of seem like semantics and stuff like that. I do believe like if I look at my life or whatever, and I do believe that at certain points, if I would have followed the unction of the Holy Spirit in certain ways, I probably would have been married now. But there were certain things like Joseph said, there were certain tests that I was just kind of banging my head on. And so I think it almost seems like semantics. Like, I don't believe that God punishes us. And I do think it's important, especially us as single Black Christians, I think sometimes we conceptualize a God who is very tit for tat with us, instead of a God that just loves us. And not that he, not that he doesn't correct us, not that he isn't just or whatever, but to be frank, white people's God loves them a lot more than sometimes than some of the. And I'm not saying that to knock every black church, because there's a lot of black churches that I've seen that are really good at that. But like, we are very good at the God of survival. We're not always as good about the God of love, about the God who genuinely loves you. Like we kind of, and I know that's the thing, that's the problem I've had in my relationship with God, and something I'm trying to work through, in that I always used to view God as this kind of benevolent celestial commander, instead of a God that loved me, and the God that's interested in the things that hurt me and the little minutia of my life. I didn't really think of God like that, and I still struggle sometimes to think of God like that. So I said, sometimes white people can internalize that a lot quicker, and so I do think maybe it's, and it feels like semantics, but I think the wording is very important. Whether or not, I don't think God is punishing us, but I do think, like Sean was saying, sometimes God will have something for you, and you may miss it the first couple of times. You may miss it. Now, I believe Jeremiah 29:11 that God has plans for you, and the plans to prosper you and build a hope in the future. So he hadn't run out of plans just because you messed up a couple of times. But I do, I think that. I think, there's something there. I think that there's something there to the concept of, sometimes we may just miss something.
Can we expand that out? Maybe we can expand that out to say, maybe it's the way that God was presented to us as Black people.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
100%.
I think white people have the tendency it's easier possibly for white people to see God in that light, because their lives could be said that their lives are much easier, right? They have this privilege that we talk about all the time. And so their view of, how their life works is different. Black people statistically have probably struggled more or in different ways from white people. So we are always looking at, well, he will make a way. Right? Because grandma was she was a fixed check, but she was still able to lend money. She always pulled money out her bosoms. Won't he do it? Will he won't? That's the lifestyle that we lived. And so that's the way we were able to view God.
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to be Kirsten first and then Joseph. But let me say this right quick. Two things. One, on Netflix, there's this documentary called American Gospel. That's on this.
Netflix now?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's 2.5 hours long. I watch it. I break it down in sections, but it is very revealing, and especially a lot what Khan said, Keena said, and some what Sean said. Especially how people view God, instead of viewing him as sovereign, they view him as a celestial bellhop, and it's a big difference right there. So, it's something to look at, though. I encourage all y'all to watch it whenever you have time. And second, when we talk about is God punishing us or not, I just say this. I have been involved with several at separate different times now. Gorgeous women, spiritually gorgeous, beautiful women who could have been Mrs. Walker, Sister Walker right now. But for my foolishness, it never came to be. It's on me. And I always believe that in between those times, it takes longer for me to meet the next woman, because I feel the Lord is telling me, hey, I done sent you this all the time now. What you gonna do now? Now, that's just me now. I'm not saying this is fact. This is just me. Everybody else had their own story. Okay, Kirsten.
So what made me bring that question up was because I can remember when I first got into church, 20 plus some odd years ago, trying to find myself spiritually. And I asked my pastor, this is what's happened in my life. Do you think that God is going to look at me differently because I did these things, blah, 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 blah? And he told me yes. And it really messed me up. And so, of course, as I went through year after year after year after year, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, is God punishing me? And then I grabbed that concept, that mindset, and it took me a long time to get out of that mindset. I just think that we have to really be careful with listening to things that God didn't necessarily say, but you listen to men because they're your spiritual guide, and they take you to you end up in a mindset of, oh my God. And I was messed up, y'all. I ain't gonna even lie. I was messed up for years. God's angry with me, and I'm even getting teary-eyed thinking about it. Okay, I'm gonna come off the video. But anyway, it was hard. It was hard to deal with that. Y'all move on.
Okay, I understand, sugar. Go ahead, Josette.
Oh, I had to think. I had to think about the question at hand. As far as God not blessing me with a husband because of my past, I think that's what prayer and petition is for, in a sense of healing prayer. First, for me, this is just for me. First, it was about me identifying the things that I had did wrong in the past. Like when I was in my 20s, I mean, I've dated married men before. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, when I came into Christ and got baptized, I had to go through a whole process prior to being baptized. You know what I mean? So I think that so I've even fasted to heal me from some or forgive me for some of the things that I have done. So fasting for me is not only about things that I might want. There's different reasons for me to fast. And in some cases I have fasted over healing me of my past, that you know, things I've done in my past. I think that's how I build my relationship with God, and then recognizing what I did wrong in my past, acknowledging it, and asking God to save me and forgive me of those things and help me to move on in a different direction, in a better direction. I had my mother tell me that too, actually. Like, you know, first she told me I'll never get a husband because I have tattoos. Then she told me I'll never get a husband because of other stuff I did in my past. So that's what made me really start praying about that and acknowledging it, and asking for forgiveness of it, and God, you know, believing that God cleanses me of my past.
Yeah, anyone else? Okay, no problem. Okay, we're going to the next question, y'all. Okay. And it's a simple one. We've asked this many times, but let's address this right here. Does age really matter when you meet someone that is a potential suitor?
For the most part, I would say yes, because I think generationally, there are just some things that we miss. My communication style is a lot different from a lot of the older men. I match with older men intellectually and conversation wise, but when it comes to, you know, for example, anybody who's ever messaged me knows that I speak in meme. I speak in meme and I speak in GIF, and I have often ran into situations where the men didn't get that, or, you know, what I was saying was misinterpreted. So for me, I found that, and I'm a millennial, so you know, I text and message more than I talk on the phone. So that, you know, for somebody who's not used to that form of communication, or who doesn't speak, I guess, quote unquote, the same language as it poses a problem. And I find myself adjusting my natural communication style to fit his. And I don't want to have to do that. I feel like, I'm not speaking in my own language. I don't want to walk around speaking Spanish the whole time. Can we talk in English, please? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It becomes a little tiresome or taxing for me. So because of that reason, because communication is so important, for me, the older the guy, the bigger the problem.
Okay. And
Younger too.
yeah, and but what problem arises, Sean?
Well, it often is misunderstandings, or like, they don't get, so he could say something to me and I'll reply in GIF. And so it's like a facial expression, and he'll go, huh? One guy said to me, I sent a GIF and he said, I think something's wrong with my phone. There's no audio to this video you sent me. And I said, excuse me? Excuse me, what? And so he didn't get it. And I was like, you need more internet time before we communicate. You know what I mean? Because like I said, that's my natural form of communication. I can send a GIF in half a second, and it's exactly the face that I would have been making. And so sometimes even some of the verbiage that I use, it's misunderstood. It's not the same. So like I said, it's not my natural. I would have to adjust my communication style. I want somebody that speaks my language. And if I can't, in my comfortable, my comfortable state, speak to you and you fully understand me, then how do we move forward? How can we build a relationship? You know what I mean? The communication is huge, and you don't get me. So what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? So yeah, that's why I say that for me, the older the man, more often. Now there's been some older men that I've been able to communicate with and we be fine. Like Nathan, for example, I can talk to Nathan and he get me, we laugh, we joke, but I'm too young for him and he don't want me. So I just have to keep moving. But it's other men that it just don't work with.
Why you had to call out Nathan like that?
Because he been quiet.
But I can understand that, but I can relate, and I think you can testify. I love to communicate via either animated GIFs. I always call them GIFs though, but maybe it's just me though. And stickers, But then again, I'm middle-aged though. But I can understand that though. With me being age 50, I don't want a young lady that's young enough to be my daughter. That's just me though, because then that's when my fatherly instincts might kick in. You sure you got enough money? Did you eat? I mean, come on. That's not something you do in a relationship,
Well, I mean, Mike, if you sending cash out money, then no, I haven't eaten.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Let me remove this member. Okay. Okay, come on now. But anyone else? Age matter. Age.
Yes, it does.
Go ahead. Oh, okay.
Age matters. It does. But it's a simplistic term. Age matters. Just for what Sean said, there's just some things that I'm going to need you to understand. I am 41. I'll be 42 this year. And I'm going to need you to, I'm not a texter. And I'm not a big texter. I like to talk, but I will send a quick text if I'm busy, but I'm not going to text you all day long. That's bothersome.
Nope.
I'm not going to, and I will quickly put you on, like, I will lie. I'm sorry, I'm Chris, but I will sit there and lie. I'm like, you know what? I got a meeting I want about to be in. I'm sorry. It's just one of those things. I'm like, really? Do we really have to do this all day? Is this what we're doing here? And I don't see how people argue that way. People have argued via text message. I don't get it. And maybe that's something I need to work on. But I'm a talker. Maybe I need to work on it. I don't know. I ain't perfect. But I like to talk. But then even in that, I have a limit. once a day, not all day. I need my silence. and maybe that's just me.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I admit that.
I hear you. I hear you. Who's next?
oh, I'm kind of in between. I do like texting. I like sending my memes and my cute little bitmojis and emojis and all this little stuff, and the gifs and all of that, just gifs, whatever, the animated stuff. Because I think it's funny. I think it shows my humor. I think it may show that person's humor when they send something back to me. And just real high level conversation. Just, what's up? How you doing today? Sending somebody a joke. Oh my God, did you see that? What? And all those gifs that go with it to show those facial expressions that they cannot see through your words. However, when it comes to actually having meaningful conversation, you can't do that in a text message. I need to hear the sound of your voice, the inclination of your vocal tones. I need to hear you laugh. I need to hear you chuckle. I need to hear an attitude if it's one that exists in that moment. You can't really get to know someone. To me, you get to know facts and data, via text when it comes to actually getting to know someone, but actually getting to know how to hear, to talk, to have a meaningful conversation, to hear how someone feels about something, what's going on in their life, and hearing how they express it and the words that they really can use, that the autocorrect is not messing you up when every time you type a sentence. I think that's so much more meaningful. And I love the fact that we have like Zoom and FaceTime and all these other things that show video where you can see each other's faces. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, me and some of my best girlfriends, we Marco Polo all day long, because we're just, stuff coming across our mind and say, girl, let me tell you what just happened, and then we're, and we're encouraging each other and sharing our day with one another. And you get to look at each other's face like, oh, she mad, or oh, this is so funny. And so I like that. I think someone for me, because we are in 2020 and we are at of a certain time, I would like someone to know how to use the technologies that exist. You know how to text, you know how to send a video, you know how to FaceTime, and you do know how to actually be a human being and communicate well. I think you should be able to use all of your brain. So maybe that's a problem on some people that I encounter. They don't know how to use their brain.
I get you. I understand that. Rhonda.
Yeah. Well, for me, age, I guess it does matter because I can't date nobody younger than me. I just can't do it. The maturity level has to be at a certain level for me. Like a lot of you all said, I want to be able to communicate with you, in the texting, yeah. I don't mind texting, but not all the darn time. I need to hear your voice. Like you said, that's a lot for me. And then age-wise, I don't mind older. Like, don't judge me. I've dated a guy that was 72 years old, but see the thing about that, he don't look it. He don't. He was
72 for real?
For real, honey, and he don't look it. He was army baby.
How old are you, baby?
But I look, and
I don't know. Rhonda, how old are you? Tell us the truth.
I'm your age.
How you know how old I am?
You did, didn't you just say you was?
No, I didn't say I was 50. That's Mike that's 50. I'm not Mike age.
40. No, 40. 40.
Oh, no, that's not me. That was Keena that said she was 41. That's not me.
Okay, my bad. Okay.
But you 40? Okay, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for that compliment, though.
Y'all get on my nerves. I just seen her pushing somebody's wheelchair.
I'm trying to say.
You know what? Get that check, girl. Get that check. Go ahead.
Who is that?
That is not. No, look, listen now. Okay, don't judge me now. Come on now.
I'm not judging you. I'm just so curious. I'm intrigued on how this worked out.
Just tell her it was very entertaining. It's very entertaining.
You smell like being gay, didn't it? You smell like being gay.
Come on now. Hey, Mike, this is why I can't. I'm stop commenting. I ain't saying nothing else no more, Mike. I'm sorry.
Recitus, you know.
No, We love you for it. That's good. Y'all went on a cruise. You made them stay in the cabin.
But you know what? Get that senior discount.
Okay.
I ain't mad at it. Get that senior discount. I ain't mad at it.
But no, serious.
He is retired though, but it wasn't about that. And most of my army dudes, they've been army dudes, and so they still fit, and they still holding on tight, huh?
At the VFW, that's not gonna go to the VFW. That's all they'll just say, "Hey, girl."
And you know what? They the one that approached me, and it wasn't like because I'm like, you got a cane and all that stuff. That's not gonna even talk to you. And you know, you breathe on machine. They're not even on that level. They could go for 40 or 50 years old.
Okay.
And they don't even. They walking just as fast as. Rhonda, where you going though? I'm just saying.
But Rhonda,
he definitely won't run away, will he?
No, seriously, Rhonda. I'm asking this. Listen. Okay, what was the initial attraction to him?
The way he approached me.
Okay.
He wasn't like, you know, hey, how you doing, sugar mama? You know, how you been? You looking not good. You know, it wasn't them numbers. It wasn't like that. It was, you know, he was like, how are you doing? You know, he said, you know, I was trying to, you know, just trying to figure out a couple of things. He said, maybe you can help me out. And realizing, you know, I already knew he was playing game because he know how to work the thing that he was asking me to work. It was something part of his car, and he works in a car shop. So I was like, I said, you want to know how to work? What is it? And so I just started giggling. So he made me laugh. So that caught me with number one. I love to laugh. So he caught me like that, but I wasn't even looking at him on that direction yet. He said, so what does a pretty lady like you like to do? And I'm like, okay, you know, I like to go to the movies or church, this, that, and the other. He was like, okay. He said, what church? And then the conversation kept going, and it kept going, and it kept going. We kept talking. And so he asked me out. Next thing you know, we was on the date. So the next day, so I was like, okay. You know what? I'm so done with this. So that was it. That's what attracted. And he was a good dude. He really was. It was genuine. It wasn't, you know, like he had to hurry to go take all his medications and popping all these pills. You have to excuse my nephew. He was good, so it wasn't all that much. And I like I said, I don't got time for the mess. I need.
Okay.
I need you to be on, you know. Okay.
And I ask you this question: what was his maturity level? I guess his social skills level compared to a young man that's in your peer group. How did he compare against that? Was he better, or was he found wanting in that area, or was there any difference?
Okay. There was two guys. One that I've dated that was past my age. One was, like I said, the previous one was 72. The last one was 62. Yeah, 61. And the 72-year-old, he was stuck in his old ways. I ain't, you know, we just stayed friends. But he was more he was trying to overdo it. He was trying to, you know, dress certain ways and, you know, trying to be. My first time, I loved the way he dressed. He was, you know, straight. He liked to dress good, he liked to smell good, and that's a plus. You know, he wasn't smelling like, you know, Gerald, the old-fashioned stuff, you know. Some of that, some of the rub their arm down with, you know, all that other stuff. Oh my gosh, Jesus help! Oh, Lily, come get your baby. Anyway, sorry.
Okay.
So he didn't smell all like that. You know, he didn't smell all old. So that's why I was like, no.
I understand.
So that's why I was trying to, you know, that was that one. So the other one, he's getting thrown off. Take him in the room, please. Take the baby. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate
so
you.
that is,
Yeah, I appreciate that. I truly, truly appreciate that insight. Well, let's.
oh, I didn't finish. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Now,
Go ahead.
but yeah, let's go to the next question, y'all. Okay, shall we? Okay.
No, Leslie, really?
No, they laughing at me. I'm a funny person. But okay. Listen, the question is this: to what degree are you a saver, or a spender when it comes to money? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Don't get scared, y'all. Please don't get scared.
Repeat the question.
To what degree are you a saver or a spender when it comes to money? Do you save more than you spend, or do you spend more than you save?
Amazon got all my money.
I'm
Tia.
about even.
Tia.
People talk about me. I believe in, like, trying to do the Dave Ramsey way.
Okay.
Trying to pay, cash for stuff. My refrigerator broke, and I was like, I think I can work this out until the Memorial Day sales. And so I didn't have a refrigerator for about a month. But I believe in, I don't like a whole bunch of debt. So I believe in paying for your stuff out in cash if you can. Of course I got a car loan and a student loan, but I mean, it just, I'm in a whole bunch of debt. If I think people live beyond their means a lot of times, and they have all this unnecessary stress on them. So I would say I'm a saver.
Okay. Who was next? Josette, were you next? Oh, okay. You weren't next. Okay.
Spend it all. Spend it all.
Or tomorrow you will die.
Kirsten.
Okay, wait. Let me go ahead and answer that.
Okay.
I'm a spender, and that's because I don't want my kids to be deprived of the things that they want because I'm a single mother. I pay all of the bills. Well, I don't get no money and nothing like that from their dad or from whatever for them. So I pay, all my bills and everything first, and then I mean, they give me a stimulation check. Me and the kids have fun. I'm not, but this is what has happened. Like, I have had the story of my life: car issues, back to front and forth, and car issues, but for whatever reason, God has always provided for me. And and the car breakdowns always happen around payday for some reason. The flat tires for some reason always happen around payday, and when I still have money put away or whatever. I try very, very hard. Like, the goal is to learn how to save, but I just I come from this background of instant gratification. So since I don't drink or use drugs or smoke cigarettes or different stuff like that, spend it all.
I know.
That's because I love experiences, and I love to give my kids experiences. My kids shouldn't be deprived because I'm not married, or because their father is not, I chose the wrong person, or whatever the case may be. So a lot of whatever it is that I do with my money, the excess of money that I probably should be saving, is a lot of this is spent on the kids. Their clothes, their experiences, and all different, So yeah.
Okay, I get
when
you.
the casino opens, I'm there.
No. Kirsten.
I have to agree. I'm like Leslie. I'm half and half now. I do make sure I keep my spending to what I'm doing or what have you. I got the investments. I got the 401ks, more than one. You gotta have mindset, because I'm older, so I have to look at my future. My future, not 10 years. I'm planning on retiring, so I got to make sure I got that. But I like nice clothes. I like nice shoes. I like the nice car. I like that kind of stuff. So you have to. I make sure I stay with it, keep my budget going. Make sure my bills is paid, stuff like that. But I have a tendency at, it's about balance. I'm gonna say that part. It's about balance. You like what you like. It's about balance for me. So yeah.
I understand. Anyone else with the money?
Save.
Amazon.
Baby,
Amazon
I'm a
has
spend
my
it, baby.
money. I got stock, and I don't. I mean, Amazon is a drug for me. I go on Amazon and just like let me see what's trending, and maybe I need to just kind of take the app away, just take it away. But my bills are paid. I don't do a lot of, I don't buy stuff on credit, and I do try to I do not buy furniture on credit. That's crazy to me. I don't my car is almost paid off. I don't do extended like 74 months and 84 months car loans. I don't understand that, how people do that. But that is my vice, is Amazon. And my hair when I can go back to the beautician.
I understand that. Anyone else when we move on to, I guess, the next to the last question? Okay. I think it's not necessarily a question. I just address what's going on in SBCC in here, since we're all here and everybody's here a member there. Well, except for Rhonda, she's not. We're gonna have to fix that. But why do we have those preachers join a singles group and all they want to do is preach, give dissertations, give platitudes, and not meet the beautiful sisters that are in the group? Can anyone answer that? But you know what? Brother Ronald and Brother Nathan, please help me. We need your input tonight. Seriously. Help.
You really don't want to know what I think.
Yeah, please. Please, Nathan. Please. Help me. I'll cash app you 50 cents. Please. Come on.
Because Pharisees killed Jesus, so I ain't gonna say nothing.
No.
Here, okay. It's only my observation.
Okay, good.
And this is from years in the Black church, not just this group, but often men in leadership, they get power hungry. They like the attention. And so they feed off of it. And so they figure the only way they can get their quote unquote fix is by spouting knowledge. Because the more they teach, the more they talk, some sister's gonna be impressed by it. And then it's, ooh, I love the way you speak. You're so eloquent. And that just feeds the ego. It's all about ego. Because somebody's inboxing them. That's why they keep doing it.
Definitely agree with that. Most preachers that come in single groups are like wolves.
Man,
Go ahead.
They looking for the sheep and looking for what they may devour. I'm gonna say that again. They looking for what they may devour.
Pass the offering plate. Pass it.
Preachers, I say, are like the greatest psychologists, because they can key in on a weak woman. And once they do that, they take advantage of that. You know what I mean? They take it full advantage of that. And those are the ones that be, oh, I like the way you spoke. Oh, you're so this and that. All y'all doing is stroking his ego. You know what I'm saying? When he need to be stroking his own wife. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, I'm just keeping it real with you.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it is, man. You know, so to speak, they can see if they can still got it, still have it, and if they can pull like they used to back in the day. You know, so I mean, you just got to be careful. you know, and look out for the wolves because they out there.
I get you.
In which they
I
wait.
don't know.
They want to buy it.
I don't know if like I've had ministers and pastors approach me, and it's ended up, you know, I believed what it was. You know, I was very gullible and believed what they said because they were men of the cloth. You know what I'm saying? Because they were pastors, they were ministers. But they would have really turned me off if they would have started preaching to me. So the ones that approach me never preach to me at all. So I don't know where the link or whatever connection is coming in at you know, people, men or women or whatever, preaching on or, you know, in the group, period. You know what I mean? Because for me, that's a turn off for anybody. And I believe, like what Nathan said, a lot of that in particular has to do with ego.
Yeah, we have that problem there, and I don't know. I guess, but I never really thought about it from that, you know, aspect though. But then I guess I need
Start
to
calling them out. Start
Yeah.
calling them out.
Yeah, I do it.
Start calling them out. Put 'em on
Listen,
front.
I started calling them out.
I've seen a
Yeah,
lot of
bust
bad
'em out.
theology in the comments, y'all.
Bust them out. What you
Listen.
doing in here? What are you doing in here? What is your intentions of being in here?
Why are you in here? You surrounded by all these, you know, beautiful sisters. Why are
Right.
you in here?
What's up?
Looking
You
for-
hungry?
Looking for validation.
There are men in the SBCC and SBC group that I know for a fact have done that to women. One of the men even sent me a screenshot of a conversation he had with another member and told me that she liked him. And then we were all on a Zoom chat. This was like 2 months ago, right? We were all on a Zoom chat. She was on the Zoom chat. He came in, acted like he never knew her, you know, had a conversation, gaslighted her, really made her feel really bad. And we all said something to him about it. And he forgot that he told me he talked to her. He forgot that he told me that he had been conversing with her for about 2 weeks. They had had in-depth conversations. I mean, she started speaking to him like they knew each other, and it went south. She ended up leaving the group chat on the Zoom. Like I said, this was 2 months ago, and she felt really bad. She ended up kind of telling us at another time the in-depth. This man says he's a minister, right? Such a wonderful man of God, right? With a T at the end. And he posts all the time that he can't find a good woman and he's such a nice guy and all these women want to be friends. And we know the truth. And so I tried to talk to him about it. I was like, you forgot, you told me. I've seen your lie. Your costume came off. He blocked me. Now I can't see none of the posts. And that's fine. But I say that to say, we as women really need to use discernment when we converse with these men. I hate to say it, but unfortunately at that first red flag, and sometimes, you know, when you first starting out, you misinterpret and that's fine. I feel like that's collateral damage. At that first red flag, we got to dip because we given these chances. And then 2-3 weeks later, now he's trying to have inappropriate conversations. And we're like, oh, wait, but he gave us signs early on and we ignored them. So I feel like women need to be more protective of their own peace, not trying to blame a woman for their experiences, but we need to be more protective of our own peace. And I feel like, you know, because some of the men, I know some of the men know who some of these other men are. And I really wish we can get to the point where our Black men can call out their brothers. Because if the Black men hold the other men more responsible or accountable for how they treat us, then that behavior will decrease. If we make it socially unacceptable to treat a Black woman that way or slide in these Black women DMs this way, these men will stop. They will either slide to another group or they'll change their behavior. But unfortunately, at least from my experience, I don't think our men are holding their brothers as accountable as I would like. And that's just my opinion.
Anyone else? Because I say
I
this.
touch and agree.
Oh yeah, okay. You touch.
I just said I touch and agree.
Yeah, you touch and agree. I get you. And I ask and I beg the members, if somebody being a wolf in sheep's clothing, please
expose them.
Please bring it to, because
Bust them out.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Expose them.
Bust them out.
This shit happened. And I'm like, no detail, no information. I'm like, did y'all tell the admin? Did you tell the moderator?
They always say, wow, we got some scammers in this group. Well,
where are they?
Tell us who they are. This is what I get, true story, most of the time. They hit me up in Messenger. Yes, you got a scammer. He did this. He said this. He talked about sex, private parts, etc. Well, could you send me a screenshot? No, I deleted the messages.
Yeah, okay.
Not that I do not believe her, but I don't know. But anyway, anywho, last question, quick question for this week is this: mayonnaise or Miracle Whip? Which one?
Mustard.
Miracle Whip.
Duke's mayonnaise.
Miracle.
Duke's mayonnaise. Okay.
If you ain't using Duke's, get out my inbox.
Okay. Better say that.
What's Duke's?
What?
That's the best mayonnaise in the universe.
Forever.
Heard of it.
Oh.
Mike,
Okay.
what's the mayonnaise for?
A tomato
Just for
sandwich.
anything or just for all purpose?
A bologna sandwich?
No, I'm saying like which one do you want us to choose it for? I mean, like, because like I use Miracle Whip for Miracle Whip for something, and I use mayonnaise for sandwiches.
Miracle Whip is trash. I'm sorry.
What? Oh, bless her, touch her right. Loose hair, Satan, right now.
It's trash. It's trash. It's trash.
Dang.
Okay.
From the devil's armpit.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
I'm still trying to adjust to the direction of my tissue, and y'all talking about mayonnaise. I'm still trying to experiment here.
Okay. The correct answer is mayo, especially if it's Duke's. Okay? Duke's. Okay, then.
I have never seen a Duke's mayonnaise.
Okay.
Never.
Look at Kirsten. Look at
I don't even know what that is.
It's a style. It's regional.
Yes.
It's down
Best
south, man.
foods. You can give me some best foods, huh?
Yeah.
They have it. They got it on Amazon. It doesn't have to be regional. You can bless your life. You can order it on
that's
Amazon.
true. That's right. Bless your whole life.
But anyway,
Miracle Whip is not like it used to be when we was growing up. Miracle Whip does not taste the same.
You're so right, Chris. You're so
It
right.
ain't the same. Stay away from the Miracle Whip. Bless the Lord.
Like it.
yeah, that and some alligator syrup. Well, okay then.
Oh,
Anyway.
my God. We talking, man. You about
Okay.
to bless my soul right now with some alligator syrup now. Watch out now.
I don't know none of that.
Oh,
Biscuits
boy.
and syrup? Oh, my God.
Well, in any case, though, we're going to end it here. And like
Hey,
last week, we're going to the repass.
We're going to the
We're
repass.
going to the repass in the SBC, our fellowship hall. So y'all bring y'all
Come on in
beverages.
the room.
And we passing out plastic bags. I don't know what's in them, though.
Mike, I'm gonna get in the room now.
Okay.
Mayonnaise.
Oh my God.
Wait. He didn't say mayonnaise. He said mayonnaise. Okay.
Mayonnaise.
So everybody, bye. Thank you all for watching.
I'm gonna get in the room, Mike.
Thank you. We're gonna let you in.
Thank you,
Okay.
guys. Thank you, Mike.
See
Thanks,
ya.
Mike.
Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this flashback episode of Tuesday Talk, and tell us what you think of it. Tell us in the after party. We're gonna have it in a few minutes, probably about half past the hour, so that don't give us much time. And just let us know what you think of it, okay? And should we do this again? Would you like to see more old episodes? And we still gonna do, of course, live ones. Hopefully we'll have a live one next week. And here are the announcements. I just run them right quick. Join us in a few minutes for the after party. And like I said, they're gonna be Zoom. I'm gonna post the link up in a few minutes. So join us there. We can talk more about this. And this Saturday for the Saturday Night Social, just like the after party, just a different name and on a different night. And we had a great time. We've been having a good time on Saturday night. So come join us, meet new friends, and just have a ball. And on August 28th, I moved it back, August 28th. Join us for the virtual speed date event. It's also going to be on Zoom. Don't forget to register if you're interested. Please register, and we're going to have a good time. Hopefully, we will have a good time. And, of course, next week, Lord willing, it all starts again for another episode of Tuesday Talk. And we'll, of course, probably be live, though. So, and, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. Thank you for everything. We appreciate you all, and we love y'all. So if there's nothing else, see you at the after party. Bye-bye.
Oh, I feel for my brother. Feel for my brother. A lot of my brothers are dead or gone, but they've been hanging on the block a little too long. What can I say? I hope they live to see a brighter day. And the ones that are doing fine, God bless you, 'cause you're doing fine. At the end of the day, don't forget about me. As days turn to weeks, and weeks turn to years, oh, I feel for my brother. And as time passes by, I still not satisfied. Oh, I feel for my brother. Feel for my brother. The street life used to be on, straight up hustling till the break of dawn. Taught me how to do wrong right, everything is tight. But somehow things started to change. Try to get us straight up out of the game. You couldn't see what I saw. The empire was starting to fall.